We'll do a quick cocktail thing.
Oh, I just heard that come out of something.
Heard what?
I don't know.
Yeah, but what did you hear?
I heard your voice. Hey, it's working now. It's working.
There we go.
You can hear us?
Can you hear us?
Woohoo!
We're not on the screen yet.
I'm just dancing.
They heard you say we'll do a quick cocktail thing.
Can you hear us?
Hello, everybody. Are we here now?
Are we here now?
Okay. Welcome back. Thanks for watching us before when I was a little less sweaty, out of nerves, when we were talking and you couldn't hear us. Welcome back to the Mobtown Ballroom. My name is Sarah.
I'm Michael.
And behind the camera, we have Hachi Matt Reed, who is our amazing tech guru. At home, we have Abby Becker and Charlie Wieprecht, who are not in here today, but are our peanut gallery and will be zooming in throughout tonight's presentation. If you were at the telethon, you know the deal. This will be a mini version of that, just to try and keep spirits up and support some local artists. If you weren't at the telethon, strap in and get ready for an adventure. I'm going to turn it over to Michael to make a little cocktail with all of you.
All right. If you are drinking along from home, this is Drunk Making with Michael Seguin. We're going to cover the martini today. I got a lot of feelings about the martini, and I am not an expert. Our real bartenders can't be here for obvious reasons, so it falls to us. Here's my thoughts, all right? I like to take Beefeater, keep it simple, folks. Don't get weird. Don't be that person. Don't be like your dad getting a fancy motorcycle he doesn't know how to ride. Just drink Beefeater. 2 ounces, boom. This is a jigger. That's nice. Toss it in there. Bam, all right? That's your gin. Nobody disagrees with that, except for the people who want vodka. But those people are messed up. Next, we take your vermouth. Now, some people like their martinis dry. That's fine. If you want a glass of gin that is cold, drink a glass of cold gin. That's cool. That's an awesome drink to have. I like to go 2 to 1. Some people want it a little drier. That's okay. In fact, one person famously said that you should wave it in the direction of Italy, like that, and that's all the vermouth you need. That's pretty cool. This is what people need to know about Reagan's or any orange bitters. You take a dash, maybe 2, put it in there, toss some ice in, grab a spoon. If you don't have one of these things, get one of these. They're fun. They're fun. They're pretty. I'm not sure if they're better than a pint glass, but they'll do it. In a pinch, as long as you're not sharing your drink right now, you can do this with your finger. No one cares. Stir it a bunch. Feel good about that. Take one of these strainer doohickeys. Pour it in your cup, right? That's supposed to give you a silky mouthfeel, which I've heard is pleasant. Now, I'm going to take this little piece of lemon rind, which I've ripped off because I took the peeler home, and you smush it around some maybe, let it waft, okay? People think you're fancy. That's a martini. You can put it in a martini glass if you want. Really, it'll do in this glass. It'll do in most any glass. The point is, classic cocktails, just have one. Don't get too weird about it. Don't be that person, right? Do the fancy ice and stuff. That's for out of the fancy bars. If you're drinking at home, you got to get the job done, and this is how you do it. Thank you very much. Hachi? Oh shit! Fuck! I gotta announce the next thing. I'm sorry. This is not child friendly. The co-founder of this Mobtown TV telethon debacle that we've created, Abby Becker. We're gonna take it to her live from the Unicorner, playing a song for you, the people.
Hey, am I live? Is it me?
Yeah, hi Abby, thanks for being here.
Hi, Sarah. I was trying to figure out how to bring a little bit of real ridiculous, and so I don't know if you can see, but I wore my independent musician name tag, which I got at an academic conference. They were like, "What institution are you associated with?" And I was like, myself. Yeah, so my job is to play a song, right?
What'd you say?
I'm supposed to play a song.
Yeah, sorry. I'm standing at the bar, so I can't really hear you. But go for it. We're gonna mute us now. Abby Becker, everybody.
So I was thinking about what I wanted to play, and I wrote this song. It's called Paradise, named after the John Prine song, R.I.P. He had a lot of things to say about his own death. Brilliant songwriter. And it's about how you can be somewhere else even when you're not actually there. So I'm gonna do that. There's a place I can go where you love me to. So I close my eyes and I'm in paradise. It's you. Baby, it's you. When I go, no one can see that I'm far gone. Flying say I'm moving on, but I'm with you. Babe, with you. There's a toll every time I take you away, babe. To worry, yeah. Just bad.
I mean, I mentioned that
Babe, it's you.
Oh wait, they said they can hear me. Although I don't know if they can still if you changed anything. Oh, is Abby done? Are we live in the house?
That song was called
Abby, can you hear
Paradise, and it's an original.
Can't hear her. Yeah.
So Yeah, just remember that your mind's a crazy place and it can take you anywhere.
Well, thanks so much for coming in. We'll see you in a few minutes when you change sets.
Woo! All right.
Okay, so thanks for bearing with us, everybody. A shout out to Hachi, who is behind the camera. Ruining everything. Not ruining anything. As we said at the telethon, our business was built on avoiding the internet at all costs.
The internet is not it's your friend right now, but once this is over, you need to go back to fighting it.
Yeah, not usually your friend. So Hachi basically patchworked this extravagant system together with some things from his house, some things from here, kind of, and some things that we borrowed from the bros. So also shout out to the Baltimore Rock Opera Society for lending us the equipment. And thanks for bearing with us while we work out the kinks of the technology. Next, we are going to zoom in a dear friend of ours. The Mobtown Ballroom does have an office in it here in the back, but we don't do as much work there.
All of you like to go in that office, by the way. I don't know why. It's
Don't go in it.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Weird.
The main place that we call the Mobtown Ballroom office is a lovely local pub called the Charles Village Pub, otherwise known as CVP. It's where Michael and I spend a lot of our time. A lot of
Cooking up
major
ideas.
Yeah, ideas, decisions, they've all been made there. And part of the reason why it's such an amazing place, other than the delicious food, the great location, is the awesome staff. And we've greatly been missing the staff while we've all been having to self-isolate and all that. So we're gonna call in to our dear friend Sean, our local CVP bartender, and he's going to talk with us about his experience in quarantine and teach us how to make a drink. Sean, are you there? Hold on, you're muted, Sean. Hi!
Hello.
Yay!
How's it going?
Going pretty well, how about you?
I'm doing just fine. Quarantine like everybody else.
I'm sorry that we woke you up from a nap and then made you do this.
Oh no, I was waking up anyway. Don't worry about it.
We'll put Sean's PayPal information in the chat, everybody, but he's hurting just like the rest of us. Sean, how long have you been out of work at CVP?
Has it been 3 weeks at this point? I think when all the restaurants closed down.
Yeah.
That Monday.
Well, and CVP was a particular loss to the community. Those other places, whatever. CVP, pillar of the community.
Did you just put that thumbs up there, Sean?
Yeah, I haven't used Zoom at all.
That's pretty classic. What have you been doing in quarantine?
Just kind of sitting around playing video games. I started going a little bit crazy like everybody else, and one of the things that I've been doing is following around my girlfriend's cat around her apartment and pretending like I'm David Attenborough.
Who the fuck is that?
So that's been pretty fun.
Sean, who is David Attenborough?
Other than that, just sitting at home doing home stuff.
Sean, Michael asked you who that was.
Who? What? Is?
David Attenborough. Who is that?
Oh, you don't know who David Attenborough is? Have you ever seen like Loop Planet or like one of his nature documentaries? Where
Oh
he just,
shit! I have seen that stuff. Thank you. That was a.
Oh, so you're like narrating the cat's life?
Kind of, yeah. You know.
Nice. That's awesome. And how's your hot girlfriend doing?
She's doing pretty good. She's out there saving lives, treating people with coronavirus. Well, not treating, but you know, she works in ultrasound, so she has to probe some of the folks, and look at their insides, and take pictures of it. So
That was somehow the most grotesque way to describe what your girlfriend's awesome job is. Oh, good. I've missed this. Today we're going to have you talk about a classic cocktail called skank juice.
This is a secret that we are revealing to the people for the first time.
Yeah, exclusive. Heard it here first. Skank juice, which we are using in a skank positive sense, just so everyone knows. Sean, do you know the history behind skank juice?
well, it all started one day when my good friend Sarah here walked into the bar, and we're not a classy bar. It's a dive if you've never been. But she ordered a blood and sand, and I asked her, "What the hell is that?" And then she said, "Whatever, just make me something sugary. Call it skank juice. Just sugar alcohol for skanks." That's what she called it.
Yeah.
So I did. And yeah, it was, and it ended up being like not terrible. I've given it out to other people. I haven't told them what's in it. But I get it out to other people, and we're just like, "Hey, can you just make me something sweet?" And they're just like, I don't know, people like it apparently.
I mean, of course they do. Skanks love to skank.
Take us on this journey.
Yeah,
Don't
so
skank.
what's in it?
Sometimes.
Or does it
changes
depend what we
depending on
have?
how I'm feeling. But for the most part, it's mezcal, if you've got any.
We don't, but I have tequila. Will that do?
Fantastic.
Cool.
It's basically just a margarita. Wow. Basically just a margarita with, ginger beer added, pretty much. That's all it is. And passion fruit.
So I don't have any of those things right here. I got tequila, pineapple, grapefruit juice, cranberry juice, and some ice. So I imagine the people at home have something close to this, or a bunch of other gross stuff. How would you? Can you walk me through this? Which thing should I put in first?
You should absolutely put the tequila in first.
Okay. Why don't you tell me when?
That's good.
That's a CVP pour, folks.
Okay. Oh, I forgot a cup.
I'll get you a cup.
Thank you. Okay. So what do you think? Pineapple or cranberry?
Why not both?
Okay. Which one should I have more of?
There's no way this can taste bad if you're a fan of sugary food like this.
That's true. Okay, here. So, that good?
Fantastic.
Cool. How much cranberry you think?
Just a dab, just a slight sliver.
There we go.
You really want to taste the
You want the notes of shitty tequila to really come
Exactly.
through.
Keep it better.
What about grapefruit?
Plastic bottle.
Do we want that or no?
What is that?
Grapefruit.
Why not?
Okay, cool.
Honestly, like, the secret to skank juice is just having fun. Put in what you like. I kind of just made it up on the spot one day, so.
All right, so you slap that on there. You shake it around. Looks pretty delicious. Oh, I almost forgot. I also have
Grenadine.
disgusting grenadine.
It's like the gumbo of skanks.
Oh boy.
Boom! Now it's prettier at least.
As
And
long as it's pink.
to make something truly a CVP drink made by Sean, you have to fill the entire rim with some sort of citrus. So this, everybody, right here is the skank juice. Would you like to try it, Michael?
No, thank you. I got my
I mean,
martini.
it's not keto, so I'm not having it.
Oh, if it's not
So-
keto, then I'll drink the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sean, to you. A little bit of Baltimore flavor for the people.
Thank you, Michael.
Oh, I meant to give that to Hachi, though. We can't share.
Oh, that's terrible.
You
We'll
have
make,
to
we'll
drink
make
the
you
whole thing.
a skank juice, Hachi.
All right, Sean. Well, what's up next for you in the next week?
Waiting on that stimulus check.
Yeah.
Because,
I put Sean's Venmo in the chat, everybody. Or not his Venmo, his PayPal. It's SeanLangley92@gmail.com. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I'll put it in again.
Thank you very much for checking it out.
If you all are someone with a secure job and you want to back up the beautiful mixologists and industry workers in our beautiful city of Baltimore, you should definitely send Sean some money since he hasn't been able to make any, since I'm not in there drinking too much. All right, you have anything to say to Sean?
No,
Sorry.
Sean, I miss you. You're beautiful. I hope
right.
we're back together soon.
You're beautiful.
Thank you, Sean. I
Thanks,
appreciate it. All right.
What's next, bro?
I don't know. I guess, why don't we tell people how the telethon went?
Oh, shit, yeah. The telethon, in a moral sense, was a devastating success. I think it was unclear to people that we were not fundraising for the ballroom. You already kind of hooked us up on that angle. All of the money went to artists that performed, or the tech staff that worked on the telethon. It was 2 people, Abby and Hachi, or the Mobtown staff, our bartenders, etc. And we were able to send them, in particular, a nice little chunk of change that will certainly help. And they expressed great gratitude to you, the people.
Yeah, I cannot say how good it felt to be able to take care of our people and back them up, and that was only possible because of everything that you all did, and I really, really appreciate it. It was awesome. So, here's my question for you. Should we play them a little Yaz, or should we call in our doctor friend? Let's do, I have an idea actually. I'm gonna not ask you to answer that. Sorry, classic, that's how we work here. I'm an asshole. This is what I want you all to do. In just a minute, we're going to have Dr. Joey Nichols zoom in and answer some of your questions live. Before we do that, Hachi, would you be willing to play one of the Craig videos? Yeah.
Oh!
Okay, cool. So while we play this lovely bit of jazz music from Craig Gildner, I'm gonna ask that you all type in some questions that you have, either for a physician or for somebody who knows about the projections of COVID-19 and where we're all going. I'm not sure that I'm describing what Dr. Nichols does correctly, but he'll be here to fix that in a minute. So, in the meantime, while you listen to this beautiful music by Craig Gildner, please send us your questions. One moment, everybody.
Hi, testing audio. It's Joey Nichols.
Oh, hi, Joey.
Hey, Joey.
For my next selection, I'd like to do a Hoagie Carmichael tune called Two Sleepy People. at midnight, look how late it gets. Two sleepy people by dawn's early light, and too much in love to say goodnight. Here we are on the cozy chair, baking from a wishbone on the frigid air. Two sleepy people with nothing to say, and too much in love to break away. Do you remember the nights we used to hang out in the hall? My father didn't like you at all. Do you remember the reason why we married in the fall? To get this little nest and get a bit of rest. Well, here we are, just about the same. Foggy little fellow, drowsy little dame. Two sleepy people by dawn's early light, and too much in love to say goodnight. The nights we used to hang out in the hall, my father didn't like you at all. Do you remember the reason why we married in the fall? To rent this little nest and get a bit of rest. Well, here we are, just about the same. Foggy little fellow, drowsy little dame. Two sleepy people by dawn's early light, and too much in love to say, too much in love to say, too much in love to say goodnight.
That was Craig Gilbert, everybody. His PayPal information is in the YouTube comments. It's Craig Gildner at msn.com.
MSN,
Because
Craig.
of course it is.
You're a
Craig.
dad, bro.
Oh my gosh. All right, we now have a bunch of questions that have rolled in, and we're going to try to get to all of them. But first, let us introduce Dr. Joey Nichols. Joey, are you there? Or Dr. Nichols, I guess I should call you.
Hello, Dr. Nichols.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming on to this, and also for being patient while we work through everything.
No worries. Happy to be here.
Shouldn't you be knee-deep in placenta or something? I don't know what you do.
Goodness. It's very hard to deliver a baby via telemedicine.
Yeah, all right.
He's a telemedicine doctor right now.
Oh, shit, you're made for this.
Which is a great segue. Why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Well, thanks for having me. Yeah, so I'm a family doctor, community health epidemiologist. I specialize in digital health. So I'm having a good month, really, in some ways. Horrifying thing has befallen our dear world, but I've got some superpowers. So, here I am with my cape, the denim cape, my denim mask. I see patients from a safe distance away. My wife works at CDC. She's the smart one in the family. So we know a little bit more than your average bears about COVID. And I'm really pleased to field any questions that you have from the audience. Usual disclaimers apply. This does not constitute a doctor-patient relationship. Seek advice from a qualified medical professional. But I know people have a lot of questions, and I'm not as handsome nor as smart as Tony Fauci, but I am available and happy to help if I can.
This is not a joke. I've already gotten texts about how cute you are. So and no one's texted me that about Fauci. So,
Dude, available is half the battle in some of these matters.
Well, Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, I'm just gonna dive into questions. Is that cool?
Ask me anything.
All right, so the first one, I'm lumping in a bunch of questions that were in the same vein. I'll read through how some of them were phrased. What should I tell my crackpot grandfather who thinks this is nothing more than a seasonal flu? That went along with, how do I convince my coworkers who believe that Trump has more cred than doctors that COVID can hit people my age? They all seem to think that they're safe if they're under the age of 49, which seems arbitrary. I know that you are a doctor and not a, therapist, which is what a lot of these people might need, but...
some sort of shaman or exorcist?
Yeah, but do you have any thoughts on how to sort of convey to people the seriousness of it?
Well, I think so. I'm going to take a couple steps back first, and let's think about the psychology of disaster, right? So if your house is burning, that's like a 50-second kind of a thing. If Katrina is, like a hurricane coming up to destroy your whole city that you grew up in, that's going to screw your stuff up for, I don't know, maybe like 50 days, pretty bad. Mm-hmm. But we're talking about, different order of magnitude. Let's call it 500 seconds for the house fire. It's 500 hours of badness with Hurricane Katrina. We're looking at like a 500-day disaster, right? And so 500 seconds, we know what to do with that. That's evacuating the airplane, that's stop, drop, and roll, that's, put on your own oxygen mask first. We've all been there. Some of us have lived through the 50 days of badness. Anybody who has a little bit of seasonal affective disorder, like I do, knows that just whatever you do, January, February are going to be awful months. Sorry, right? Extra awful this year because of this virus. But with a 500-day thing, what do we even do, right? We're all kind of figuring out as we go. But there are some lessons that we can draw from the psychology of disaster. One of which is, oh my God, denial is like a super important survival mechanism.
That's a good point.
Right? And so some of these older dudes who don't get it, right, their brains aren't programmed to get it. They can't literally wrap their heads around it. So it's a little bit cruel for me to say, like, listen, Grandpa, get with the program. If I'm your doctor, I get to do that because it's like, look, I don't want you to die. And I've got some credibility that I can bring to the situation. But if you're someone's loved one, sometimes it's one of these, all right, Grandpa, whatever you say, just as long as you wash your hands and stay away from people and go to the 7 a.m. seniors only kind of like thing, maybe you'll meet somebody nice and y'all can have like a Skype date or something.
That's awesome. That's really helpful. Sorry, keep going if you have more.
No, let's keep it rolling.
We got a lot of questions.
Yeah, we have a lot. I think that's really good, and I hadn't quite thought about that.
Can I hit Kira's question real fast, or should we end on that?
I think we should end on it.
Okay, we're going to end on a question. Don't let us forget that.
Next one. If I had coronavirus and then got over it, can I still infect my friends?
What a great question. I wish I knew. We all do, right? Because the way these viruses work, your body develops all these antibodies, which are these tiny little microscopic sticky things that attach to parts of the virus's surface and basically sends your body's immune cells. Your body's white blood cells are like really, really good at killing stuff that's not supposed to be in your body. So once your body learns how to fight off an infection and has these antibodies kind of stored up, that's the whole idea of antibodies, is that it's like a memory that your body's immune system has that helps it fight off infections. Only really helps the second time that you see it, right? But by now, after years of preschool and smearing snot on each other, and if you've got young kids at home, and if you were ever in public school or ever really went outdoors, in your life, you've been exposed to lots of viruses that are like these coronaviruses. There's different families. There's corona, there's rhinovirus, there's adenovirus. They're all kind of similar in that they're these mildly annoying common cold type viruses that give you the pink eye and the earache and the sore throat and the bronchitis, and they do all these things, right? Why we're so freaked out is because nobody on Earth has ever seen a coronavirus quite like this. It's just different enough that your immune system doesn't know how to act, right? And if you get coronavirus and you make antibodies to it, the theory goes those antibodies should protect you the next time that your body sees this virus, and maybe you won't get infected a second time, right? Maybe you can't give it to your friends again.
Right.
You can only give it to your friends, by the way, if you actively have it. Although with this one, this is weird. It's like a phantom virus. There's this whole group of people or early phase of the virus where you can be sick, but you can be infected but not sick, right? You can be contagious but not know that you have it. That might last for up to 2 weeks. So that's a weird quirk with the virus. There's lots of quirks to this virus. We'll talk about more of them, but that's one important one to understand. So you don't know if you're infectious in a given moment. We don't have a test for that. That's a really good test. And you don't know if after you've had this virus, if you're still susceptible to getting it a second time. We don't know that yet either.
I see.
And they're trying to develop tests, but these tests are notoriously kind of screwy.
Yeah, there were other questions about like how likely it is that someone could be asymptomatic and contagious.
People seem very concerned that they don't want to be. These are good folks here.
Yeah, a lot of our people
pass it to anyone.
are awesome, and I think even those of the people watching who have been tested and have tested negative are concerned that like, what if they got tested at the wrong time? Could they have passed it around without showing symptoms or whatever? Is that, I don't know if you have any answers for that or if anyone does, but.
Or would you suggest a way of conceptualizing this for the public that is less focused on individual things and maybe like we all have to play a broader game?
Okay, well, if you want to talk about the broader game, if you look at I've looked at a lot of different computer models, and they're all wrong, but some of them are useful. And when you look at them all together, one thing that they all kind of harmonize around is this idea that pretty much everybody has to stay the hell home for any of this to work. And so if you and everyone in your community reduce your contact with persons outside your household by 90%, many more lives will be saved. That's how we flatten the curve. But you got to get down to like 90% reduction, right?
That makes sense. Does it make a difference, for instance, is there a different safety issue with grocery stores versus like Ace Hardware versus like your local liquor store?
What a fantastic question.
That one was mine.
I just
I need
walked
to know
by
whether or
all
not I'm
three
allowed
on
to
my
go to the
way
liquor
here,
store.
right? It's surfaces.
Okay.
Literally, it's as simple as when you touch a surface that has particles with virus on it, and then touch your face in this lovely little like T-zone that gives so many of us like the acne trouble, right? Any of this T-zone, these mucous membranes here, if you get virus up in there, then you have this risk of being infected. And it's more a matter of like, if you work in a carpet store, virus loves to stick to carpet and it's really hard to clean. Versus copper surfaces. Copper has some natively like antimicrobial properties to it. So this stuff dies after it's on a copper surface for just a couple of hours. By the way, viruses don't die because they're not even alive to begin with. That's the cool thing about viruses.
That's awesome. So when we open our new bar, we should make sure that the extension is copper and not something else.
It's a whole look. Yeah, when he's got distressed kind of patina on it, expensive as hell, but like, I highly recommend it.
You can advise us both on the decorative and health side of things.
Yeah, we're big into spending money right now here at the Mobtown Bar, and it's just going right out the door. We love it.
It's 2 minutes past when I said you would be here, or maybe like 7 minutes past. Do you still have time to keep answering questions, or?
I got time.
Awesome, thank you. Do you know how many instances of reinfection there have been?
Oh, I don't have numbers on that. I have 2 monitors, right? So in this monitor, I can look at my dashboard, and I'm using the Johns Hopkins dashboard, and they're keeping pretty good data on the number of people who are infected, the number of deaths so far, and actually they've got some data on the number of people that have recovered. But of those confirmed cases, we really wouldn't have any way it'd be very hard to track who was going for the second go around, because the data that you're seeing reported in the news media are de-identified. Like they don't go saying, Joey has coronavirus. That's kind of not, well, they do in Korea, but they don't do that here. We have laws.
Not like that wild wasteland of South Korea.
Wait, but does testing play a role in that? Like, is there a way that testing could change how we can tell, or is that just no?
Yeah, well, if you're looking at, there is not really a report from our dear leader and the official coronavirus task force. But if it's not a plan necessarily, but if you look at the people who are coming up with plans, like Scott Gottlieb, very smart, wealthy, handsome, intelligent former FDA, like head of the Food and Drug Administration. So he's got a plan, two of them in fact, one of which has three things that they emphasize, right? Testing is one, and then it's treatment, and then contact tracing. It's not really three T's, it's like a C and then a T, but still, the three T's. And testing, like, important, but, you know, again, as I said, the tests kind of suck, but, you know, they're better than nothing, right? The treatment sort of thing, people are working on it. Newsflash, chloroquine, azithromycin isn't going to help us very much. Sorry to disappoint. I mean, we'll see what the evidence says, but early results, unencouraging. Maybe there's other stuff on the horizon. We can talk about plasma later if you want to talk about plasma. The contact tracing is the thing that I geek out about the most because that's like shoe leather epidemiology kind of stuff. That's kind of like when you got gonorrhea and you get the call from the health department and they're like, hey, sorry, this chick you were with, she probably gave you gonorrhea. Why don't you come and get tested? Very similar. Just substitute gonorrhea for COVID. You know, and what you want is to have all these people, many of whom are unemployed and looking for things to do, can sit around the house and call folks and be like, hey, I think you may have COVID. Let's get you in for testing. And
wait, really? That's a volunteer thing?
If we can identify those people who are kind of in that 2-week period where they're maybe giving it to other people, but they don't know it yet, then, you know, maybe we can get them tested, get them treatments if there are treatments available, and start to kind of tamper this thing down. And that's kind of what they did in South Korea and Taiwan already successfully because they have functioning public health systems and they listen to people like my wife. But that's, you know, like a story for another time.
Wait, are you saying that you can volunteer to call people and be like you were exposed?
You cannot volunteer currently. It's a fantastic idea. I don't know what plans they have in the Baltimore City Health Department or Maryland Department of Health. But what they're doing, there's a group called Partners in Health in Massachusetts. If anyone ever heard of Paul Farmer, kind of famous in the public health world.
Did he?
You know what I'm talking about?
What was that book that he wrote?
It's about him. It's called Mountains Beyond Mountains. I mean, he's written like 6 books. Somebody wrote a book called Mountains Beyond Mountains about his whole life, and he, you know, used to date Roald Dahl's daughter, and they became famous together and stuff. It's a lovely story. But the organization has all this experience fighting pandemics like Ebola in West Africa or cholera epidemics in Haiti. And they're used to doing it in these kind of like austere, remote environments. And so here we go, like the whole healthcare system, it's a little medieval, like in some of these hospitals in Brooklyn, right, if you're following the news. So the PIH, Partners in Health, they know what to do in those kind of environments. So they're starting to work in the state of Massachusetts to set this thing up, but they just hired like 1,000 people like this week who are going to be making these phone calls and trying to track down people in Massachusetts who might be infected and kind of get ahead of this thing. And that's a model that could hopefully replicate across the country.
That's cool. Yeah, I feel like what they should do is give me a headset when I'm giving plasma, since I have to sit there for so long still, and then I'll just call people while I'm giving plasma. And then,
right?
Or
That's
what
two
is
birds
it?
with one stone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of dead birds.
I don't want to watch their weird DVDs that they have from the library. Anyway, next question. I liked this one. What do you and your peers most wish that the general public understood or would do differently?
I think for me, it's that I don't believe there's any shadow conspiracy. I think it really is as simple as wash your hands, don't touch your face, stay home. Period, the end.
Cool.
And thought experiment. If everybody just sort of stayed home for 2 weeks, what would happen? This whole thing would vanish. But it's not going to happen, right? For various reasons, some of us have to sort of be out and about. And so we kind of limp along. But if you could, for 2, maybe 3 weeks, get everybody to literally sort of stay the hell, and they're doing this in New Zealand, right? And when the whole dust settles, we'll figure out which countries did better than other countries. You know, funny thing, a year ago, we had this whole report card called the Global Health Security Index, where we rank all of the countries on some leaderboard about who is the most prepared for a pandemic. We gave ourselves like an 80, an 86, an 83, something like that. It was a B, maybe a B plus, right? In my book, it was actually the best score of any country in the world according to our self-reported, self-administered take-home test of
But
how
they
prepared we are for a pandemic.
They didn't consider testing failures, right?
Yeah, no, I don't know that we really earned the 80, the B. I wouldn't give us a B+.
Wild.
Yeah.
So sorry, I cut you off.
That's okay. I'm rambling now, but I mean, the basic thing is, again, the most important thing is really stay home, wash your hands.
And this
Stay
is all
with
because of
people.
5G.
You know, if you're doing the basic things, you see the news media has all these sensationalist stories coming out now because they've been doing excellent reporting up to now, but they're finally getting bored because it really is just that simple. And yet here we are with all these months to go before we get a vaccine. So they have to, I don't know, they have to keep something in the news.
That's a good point. Huh. Do you have a question, Michael? I'm not talking Kira's. We're not quite there yet.
No, I mean, I'm going to stay home, except for when we have to come in here because we have to check on the facility, because that's a thing.
Way to stay 6 feet away, though. That's great.
Well, she has cooties also.
I mean, we all do. The COVID cooties, right?
Cooties 19.
The biggest game of
Don't mess with that
cooties in the
shit.
history of the world.
Okay, we're gonna ask you 2 more questions. The first one is, how common is it for people to be nasal swabbed outside of the time frame where it would show up? So, like, if they're tested, is there a time frame when it would show up, and how long do the antibodies stay in someone's system? Again, I'm not sure you can answer that, but
Well, nasal swab question first. So with the nasal swabs, there are in Maryland a lot of rules about who can get the nasal swab done, and they're sort of designed in part to would do the testing when it would matter. Like if I'm going to tell you, like if you have a rhinovirus versus a coronavirus right now, you're going to have common cold symptoms. Somebody who has average health problems, who's going to have an average sort of case of coronavirus, you know, whether or not it really is, we should all be staying the hell home anyway. So you knowing for sure that you have it versus not, it doesn't change what I'm going to tell you as a doctor. I'm going to say stay the hell home, right?
right, yeah.
Yeah. So it does matter in the sense that what the swab is trying to do is to soak up little virus particles, and then they get picked up by this machine that's looking for a certain genetic sequence. It amplifies that genetic sequence to the point that even a small amount of genetic material on that swab can be identified. And that's like a fingerprint for the virus. Like they looked at all of the genomes of all the viruses that we know and found, it's like, if your genome is like a book, there's this one sentence in this particular book of coronavirus that it's unique to that particular book. Like no other book has that sentence in it. So they're looking for that sentence basically when they do one of these tests. But if there isn't enough, I don't know, word fragments that they picked up in your back of your nose, phrases and clauses and shit, to identify that sentence, then yeah, you might have done your test too early or too late, but to the point where the virus just wasn't there. There was also some chatter on the internet about, well, maybe there's this 2 phases to infection, and the virus sort of starts off in your nasal passages and then migrates down like into your lungs.
Huh.
And so by the time it gets down into the lungs, like you've just missed it up here. Who knows? We don't know. We haven't studied that systematically yet to really understand that. So that's swabs. Antibodies. Again, different people's bodies are better at making antibodies than other people's. So there are accounts of people having had COVID who have very few antibodies later on. The other thing is the timing's really important with antibody tests because it normally takes like 6 weeks, give or take, for your body to form the kind of antibodies that we're looking for. There's different flavors of antibodies. The IgG antibody that we're concerned about here, if you're, for the antibody enthusiasts at home. And if anyone's ever tried to figure out if you have Lyme disease, super similar problem, same kind of test, antibody testing. And as you know, if you've had that frustration to figure out how did I have Lyme or not, and what do I do about it, it's same kind of limitations of the testing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
You had another one, right?
We have one last question. I'll let you ask this one, Michael. This is from our dear friend Kira, who actually is a physician's assistant as of I don't know, this week, I think. Just graduated or didn't graduate because she's not allowed to walk or something like that, but
Congratulations, Kira.
Yeah, good for you, Kira, the Shiba Inu. So she asked a question that is pertinent for all people. and particularly me, and if we're staying home a lot, you might enjoy a drink, a cocktail at the end of the day. And is it medically accurate to say beer before liquor, never been sicker, liquor before beer, you're in the clear?
I have seen that studied actually once formally. It found no real association between that. It has much more to do with the volume of alcohol that you consume. And then the second factor is like these ideas, the cogeners, right? That's why like the real experienced lushes favor decent quality gin versus something like rot gut vodka or that really lovely, like hazy, juicy IPA kind of stuff.
Wait,
or
why
like
is
a
that?
brown whiskey. They'll prefer something highly purified, fewer cogeners, gives you less of the kind of the hangover like badness. But that's just other additives. And if you run it through your Brita filter a couple of times, it gets rid of the cogeners, whatever it is that you're drinking. If you're looking for things to do in coronavirus and you find yourself running liquor through a Brita filter because there's nothing better to do, then you should call me and we should talk more because we gotta figure something out here.
That might be a therapist issue at that point.
I'm a family doctor. I do a little bit of everything. I know just enough about everything to be dangerous.
My takeaway from that, and thank you for liberating me, is that I can drink all alcohol in any order at all times and be fine medically. I think that's what he said. That's what he said. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in full disclosure, I was on my way back from the local wine bar to pick up our like weekly 6-pack just before like we had this. That's what I was kind of working into the schedule here, right? So I don't drink all 6 bottles all by myself. Thankfully, I'm quarantined with a lovely family, and we keep it away from the toddlers. So anyway, the officially, yeah, no joke. I mean, men should be trying to keep it underneath. Oh, what's the threshold? Is something like 15 drinks a week for men, 10 drinks a week for women, whoever came up with that. And so it's about like 1 to 2 a night. A drink would be like a 5-ounce glass of wine, 1 beer, 1 shot, for reference. If you have concerns about your drinking, if you worry that you're drinking too much, some people are self-medicating. They're anxious. I'm here to tell you though, I have way better drugs than alcohol for depression or anxiety. My stuff works awesome, right? Versus alcohol over time tends to make somebody more depressed. So there are qualified mental health professionals and family physicians waiting to see you and be helpful if we can be helpful there. I don't want you to take away like, hey, coronavirus, it's like one very, very long spring break. Totally not the message. No, the message is that people have real legitimate concerns. They have fears, they have anxieties. And, we use the tools that we have when we're in a stressful situation. Back to where we started with the whole psychology of disaster. If you're faced with some existential threat, how do you deal with that? Well, you use the tools you have. If I'm a dancer, I'm going to dance. If I'm an alcoholic, I'm going to drink. Right? I'm an epidemiologist, so I design research studies. That's how I feel.
I'm an alcoholic dancer.
So that's how I fill my time, right?
I see what you did there, and I respect it. You turned it into a whole serious conversation.
I think that's great.
That's good. The people need to know.
Yeah, thank you so much. If people want to learn about like telehealth and all that stuff, which I'm not going to go into right now, and I love Harry Sleeper, but thank God he's not on the line. Is there a place for people to look?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the company I work with mostly, this is not like a shameless plug or whatever. There's a lot of good companies out there. You should check first with your health insurance if you have it, because they may have already contracted with one of these groups and you'll save a lot of money by talking to a doctor. The company I happen to work for is a company called PlushCare. I think we are the #1 company on the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. So anyway, I'm licensed in something like, I've literally lost count, 35 states. They keep throwing licenses at me like, oh my God, please see people. So I try to be on there, 3 hours a day or so.
Cool.
Every doctor in the world, right, is trying to figure this out right now, pretty much. So it should, if you already have a doctor you've had a relationship with, check in with them and see what are their plans for rolling out telehealth so you can continue that sort of continuity of care. A lot of people have just never seen doctors, right? Healthy person, 20s, 30s, maybe don't even have health insurance. So these direct-to-consumer companies like I work for, we do some insurance, but we do a lot of people who just need a doctor who never had one and they pay cash. And it's like, I don't know, somewhere between $50 and $100 a visit. We can get 80% of your needs met in one of these kind of like video visits compared to what I used to do in an office. although right now there's like to a hospital, and there's like two kinds of patients. There's people who can't breathe on their own, maybe, and everybody else. You know, because for the foreseeable future, if you have anything that isn't a I can't breathe on my own kind of a problem, it's a good idea to try to do it on telehealth, I think. And then if you have a dental problem, oh my God, help you, right? Because like the dentists have all gone home because they're going to die. Like we're going to cough on them and they'll get sick and they just can't. It's too much of an occupational hazard for dentists to be doing dental work right now, unless it's some kind of complete emergency, in which case just go to the Hopkins emergency room and they should probably have an oral surgeon on call if it is like a legit life-threatening dental emergency, of which there were a few examples of that. Like it's not like really much of a thing, unfortunately.
Yeah. Huh. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
What a pleasure.
I'm going to have to send Harry Sleeper a gift for connecting us. I really, really appreciate you being here.
Characters, no characters.
Absolutely. Harry Sleeper is well known among this community. That makes me happy.
No one knows who I'm talking about.
Oh, that's totally fine. Yeah.
Harry Sleeper is basically my uncle, everybody. He's my dad's best friend, and he's the connection between me and Dr. Nichols here. All right, well, thank you so much. I hope you have a lovely evening and that you and your family stay safe and healthy.
Likewise. Everybody stay safe, stay at home, wash your hands, take 2 aspirin, call me in the morning.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, that was awesome.
That was some medical shit that we just learned, and I approve of it.
That was. I think, are we ready for Joy?
We are getting Joy in right now.
We're getting Joy in right now. So, just like the telethon, everything is going over, and we have so much that we could do, but I think
When
we're
was Joy supposed to be on?
at 8, so it's great.
Oh, yeah, we're good. We're good.
Yeah, so next up, everybody, we have Joy Postell. Joy is an incredible musician from here in Baltimore. She does, as far as I know, hip-hop, R&B, rap. She's amazing. I remember when I first saw her like 3 or 4 years ago. Do you remember at Abby's CD release party, Joy opened?
Yes.
And she like crushed, and then ever since then has been just like playing all over the place. Her band isn't here with her today, obviously, but she's going to be performing some of her original music, as far as I know.
I'm pumped.
Joy, are you there?
Hi, sorry.
Hello.
Hi! No, don't be sorry. You're doing great. Thank you.
This is very confusing.
You got it.
Yeah, I'm confused as well. Luckily, we have someone who isn't behind the camera, but I don't envy being at home and having to figure it out.
Am I delayed right now? Because when I move, it's like delayed.
Just a tiny bit, but you actually look better than most Zoom things so far that we've had.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm in my houseware, so.
Should we say that we're going to wave if we lose the audio or something?
Yeah. If you see us like flailing or
Like
something,
this?
it means there's a problem with the audio. Otherwise, you're good to go. I'm gonna post your payment information in the YouTube chat, and so hopefully you'll make some money.
It's also up right now.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, I'm gonna hand it over to you, Joey Postell, everybody.
Thanks. Should I change the way my camera is?
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to my bedroom. Okay. I'm going to be honest, this is my first time doing this sort of thing, but I'm looking at the clock, and it is 8:07 right now. Let me move my thing just a bit. Sorry. Yay. We're struggling here. Okay. Who would have known? Okay, much better. All right, so I'm gonna sing a few songs. I'm just gonna play the tracks directly from my computer. And hey. Hopefully you can hear my audio. I'm gonna do it again. I was way more Hey, da-da-dee-da-da-da. Ooh, black eyes, da-da-da. Would you like to grab a drink, chop it up and see what the future brings? I'm free on Monday of next week. After the exciting possibilities, would you like to grab a drink, chop it up and see what the future brings? I'm free on Monday of next week. After the exciting it's funny that you hit my line. You've been on my mind, but I can't even play shy. Forget all the fronting that you won't fight. I just want a little of your time. Maybe we could cross the line. The weather's getting so nice. Meet you plus my place at AI. Give and take, slow it down, enjoy the pace. I'm just saying, I know how you like to play. Right for yeah. Would you still be around when the troubles go down? I really gotta know. Some shit I just can't allow. I know you figured it out. Before I put my brakes down, yeah. You can't just come and take from me. And in exchange, I need to see the possibility. See the possibility. I see the possibility. See the possibility. Oh, that's why you gotta give and take. Slow it down, enjoy the pain. Yeah. I'm just saying, I know how you like to play it. Yeah. That's why you gotta. Hey, shout out. I see, so I got some tips. Shout out to y'all tipping me. Oh, shit. Thank you. All right. Let's get right into the next one. Y'all, this is what I look like in my regular. I'm not regular. Excuse me, I'm not. Obviously, I'm turning off the DJ. Now, here we go. It's called Influencer. Ooh, yeah. I'm just a person. Where is it coming from? Where is it coming from? Intentions don't lie. These are thoughts that lay upon my mind at night. Pain as a rule of thumb, I set that aside. Soon as you provide me with a peace of mind, we gon' disagree to agree. Set our goals with a key. I'm not playing, I mean it. You invest the time that I need, regardless of a proceeding. That means, alright, here we go. This love is full of your behavior. I'm just a person, not a savior. Don't worry about the place of danger. Forgot to read what's on the motherfucking paper plate. This love influence your behavior. I'm just a person, not a savior. Don't worry about the basic danger. Forgot to read what's on the paper. Got to read what's on the paper. Rolling in my whip and we cruising 95. Got me speeding down the freeway with your hand up on my side. Rolling in my whip and we cruising 95. La-ba-dee-da, la-ba-dee-da. Does love influence your behavior? Yeah. Woo-hoo. Hey. So, okay. Thank you for the tips too. I actually appreciate it. I would look, but I'm trying to figure out how to work this thing right here. What time did I start at? Oh yeah, I could. Okay, so I have 2 more songs. Cool. I could do. Well, I have this kind of super R&B vibey thing for y'all going. This one's called Back and Forth. Here we go. I don't fucking know, bro. Ah! Why is this? I'm obviously struggling. Does this mean I'm old? Shit. Because that's what I read on Twitter. They said only old people struggle with technology. I mean, I'm old. Okay. Oh, I used to cycle. Hey, yeah. That was my punk scream. Yeah. Yeah. Hey. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Yeah. I've been going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. No, I don't take no losses, only lessons learned. And throughout the years, I've seen some bridges burned. I pray they like the way for all the twists and turns. I keep every move, my attention is paid. Cause shit can get sticky if they don't behave. One day you got it, the next day it fades. I know better than to play them. Oh, I feel the cycle. There's my only rival. Bounce right back like I do. I don't take no losses, just recoup the cost. Show you what a motherfucking boss is, bitch. Hey. About this out, yeah. Back and forth, back and forth, yeah. If it was right, I'd be all in. The simplest of decisions caused by hesitations can. Here we go again. Got me questioning my friends. I'm not fucking with this shit. Bitch. This is a problem. Now I gotta solve and know what the cause is. Investments and losses. Made my deposit, write that shit off it. Triple the profit. Dot in my eyes and feet on my crosses. Ain't no more pauses. Ain't no more pauses. Oh, I plead the cycle. There's my only rival. Bounce right back like I do. I don't take no loss. Just recoup the cost. Show you what a motherfucking boss is. Bounce right back like I do. Bounce right back like I do. back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Bounce right back like I do, bounce right back like I do. Back and forth, back and forth, yeah. Woo. All right, this is my last tune. Oh, is my time up?
No. Keep going. You got this.
Oh.
Keep going. You're
Sorry.
crushing. I love your voice
It's
so
beautiful.
much.
It's
and your
amazing.
music is
Thank
awesome.
you. I was about to say shout out to y'all for having me.
Yeah, we are pumped.
It's
Everybody,
super dope.
give some money to this person.
I'm just basically singing to myself, it feels while people are watching.
People are watching.
Which is cool.
Wait, Joy, where do you
All
usually
right.
play? Like, if people, when this is all over, want to go see you, where should they check? Where should they look?
Instagram. I mean, everything is the same. My name is at Joy Postell on Instagram, on Twitter. My music's on everything, every streaming platform. Just search Joy Postell. I'm pretty sure there's no other artist named Joy Postell. I haven't seen anyone else pop up.
Cool.
But yeah, just that on everything.
Awesome.
Cool.
Go for it.
Okay, thanks. Okay, this is my last tune. Let's do it. Oh, this one's kind of quiet. Let's turn it up. All right, y'all, this is my last song. Here we go. I feel like this one's kind of quiet. Hey, hey. So this is called Hold You Down. Acronym HYD. Hey, to keep it real, I'm more compact than a magazine. Not too many out there I know that can't handle me. I've learned in life that your friends become your family. I keep my circle small so there ain't no jealousy. The way you got me feeling is amazing. So intimate and I'm not even naked. And your love is where I'm trying to get wasted. So even if the sky starts falling, even if the earth stops spinning round, just know I'ma be there. I'ma hold you down through the fire, wind, and rain. My love for you will remain the same. Ain't shit gon' change. Never had a real one, but you got that place. My homie and my lover both the same. By your side I will remain. Riding for you, baby, never pump the brakes. I put my all there regardless of the stakes. I started falling, you called me right away. I must admit I think about you every day. And I know you over there feeling the same. So even if the sky starts falling, even if the earth stops spinning around, just know I'ma be there. I'ma hold you down through the fire, wind, and rain. Through the fire, wind, and rain. Through the fire, wind, and rain. I like it. I like it. I really, 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 I really, 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 I'm for it, adore it. So come let me, so come let me. That I like it, I like it. I really, 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 really. I really, 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 I really, 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 I'm for it. So come let me, so come let me that even if the sky starts falling, even if the earth stops spinning around, I'ma hold you down. Yeah. Sorry, got thrown off a little bit.
Yay!
Yes!
Joy, I love your music so much and your voice. I'm so into it, and I can't wait till you come play at the ballroom.
I don't know if you can see
Thank
the YouTube
you,
comments, but they're very
Can't wait till we can
complimentary.
go outside and talk to each other in real life.
Yeah. You should think about like if you had your like dream show of Baltimore people, now's the time to line it up and then send it to me so that I can set it up for whenever this shit is done.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
We're gonna pounce.
All right, everybody. We'll send Joy some money. She's out of work. You're also an industry worker too, right?
Yeah, I'm a bartender. Well, I was.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So you're royally screwed like the rest of us.
Yeah. I'm like, please.
Send her some money, jabronis.
Yeah. Well, I hope you make some money, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right. We'll see you later.
All right, bye-bye.
That was Joy Postell, everybody.
Joy Postell. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to my friends, all of our friends really, at Charm City Books, right down the street. They are still open in the sense that they are running around in their car delivering sanitized books to the people. And books, actual texts, are much better than anything you get on the internet. Buy some. You can go on to charmcitybooks.com, order books. They are also now doing care packages for first responder types. Hello. Whatever. Care packages for first responder types at the hospitals, so you can go and they will cover 20% of the cost on charmcitybooks.com.
Yeah, Charlie, it's your back.
Charlie and Abby,
What
we
the
can
fuck
hear
is
you.
happening?
Mute yourselves.
Nope,
We
they-
can still
they can't
hear
figure
you
it out.
breathing, Abby. Okay, now it's good.
Let's just do it. Yeah,
Charm City
charmcitybooks.com.
Books. Okay, unmute yourselves, Abby and Charlie. Let's zoom in here. You can
Bring
join
it
us.
in.
Hello. Oh, look at Charlie's spot.
Charlie's bot, folks.
Abby,
Oh.
you're a genius.
Hey guys.
You're really loud, Charlie.
What?
Oh my God. God damn it.
You there?
Charlie.
Sorry.
Charlie.
Yeah, but they got the multiple angles.
Okay, everybody. The rest of our telethon crew, who we decided to not bring in here today because it wasn't essential, they're at home in the house that those two and me share, called the Unicorner. The Nut Gallery. Yeah, I like that it's nut instead of peanuts, but cool.
Gross. Gross.
We have a variety of nuts here.
We didn't have any peanuts.
What are your thoughts on the show so far?
Well, we've got some pistachio nuts, some walnuts, some crushed walnuts.
Michael is already on his phone, ignoring everything that you all are saying. That's a joke.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Joy, you rock. It was nice seeing you today. We ran into each other on the street.
Abby, can I ask who you're looking at? Because there are two cameras and you're not looking into either of
He's
them.
looking at the television.
Well, I can't hear all the technology. Everyone should know that I'm a grandma.
Another thing, can you mute one mic and have the other one be the mic that you're using?
Yeah, mute that one.
Remember when we did
But I'm louder.
16 hours?
Yeah, okay, Charlie.
We were so good at it.
Hachi said, remember when we did this for 16 hours?
I would like to remind everyone watching that this is a free event.
That's
yes.
true.
What do you think, Charlie?
About?
Oh, just like
About the show we're watching. What?
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. I love it. I woke up for this.
Charlie, what'd you do today?
I went on a nice long walk in Roland Park, completely covered from head to toe. I wore a hat, I wore a mask, I wore gloves.
What
I
kind
saw
of
a
hat
snake.
did you wear?
Whoa.
Yeah. What'd you do today?
Yeah, hard to say.
You did this, right?
Yeah, I did this. I think I remember, like, I really didn't do, I remember lying on the floor and talking to my mom.
Cool.
She said, keep in touch, more than you have.
It's like I'm
Classic.
talking to two Charlies right now. I'm so upset. One Charlie has been bothering me for years. Now there's two Charlies. Or two Abbies.
You're welcome. How are you guys doing over there?
We're doing well. we're just about to talk about how we've been spending our time in quarantine. Michael, I know this is basically a dream come true for you. What have you been doing?
Folks, let me tell you something right now. There's a lot of suffering in the world, and I am not for it. And I am for reopening the world as quickly as possible, possibly with some more justice in it, if we can get a dash of that shit. That said, this is my one opportunity to be happy for the rest of my life, and I'm sitting in my book room, reading books, not dealing with anyone's questions and problems, certainly not addressing sexual assaulters or any of that bullshit, because you know what? They're all inside, except for the ones who are sexually assaulting people in their homes. Donate
In
to
which
House
case,
of Bruce.
call House of Bruce.
House of Bruce.
Turn around,
But
Baltimore.
fuck, I'm happy, man. I'm sitting there reading books, doing a little Latin prose composition, keeping that tight.
Lots of opportunities to be dramatic still.
Can
so-
be dramatic whenever I want. Yeah, theatrical.
That's
So,
good. Wait, you've been typing on your typewriter?
I've been typing on my typewriter. I've been typing you a letter.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. How have you been spending your apocalypse, Sarah?
I sulked for approximately 20 days, and that's not really true. I obsessively cooked. Now I'm getting into my typewriter, and for practice, I've been writing pen pal letters. First, I wrote to Brie's kids, and then today I went online and got 3 pen pals from the internet, which I'm sure is safe, and I wrote letters to them, and they're gonna write back to me. One's in Canada, one's in Michigan, and the other one I don't know yet because she hasn't written to me. So yeah. Hachi, what have you been doing?
Hachi, tell us about yourself.
Can people hear me?
Yeah, well, no, they
Can
can't
you all hear Hachi or no?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, you don't count. You have the special patch.
It's not coming through here.
Oh, yeah, you're not coming through here. Why don't you come over? Want to trade seats with me for a second?
Oh, not really. But
Okay.
what have I been doing? Let's see. I've been cooking
Cooking.
and watching YouTube. YouTube has not stopped. YouTube is going on like nothing happened.
YouTube.
And I've been running. I decided that now that you're not allowed to leave your house is the perfect time to start going outside your house to run. That makes me feel questionable, but I try to do my best with that. And I don't know, kind of get to know my housemates a little bit. It's nice that they're all home. Don't get to see each other that much. We all have different schedules. Oh, who's that?
Mara. Hi, Mara.
Morin says hi. There's Kyle.
Oh, hi, Kyle.
Look at me.
Oh my God. Everybody,
Kyle,
it's
look at me.
Kyle's.
Oh no, he's hiding. Never mind.
It's
Never
Kyle's
mind.
birthday.
No one saw Kyle.
In 3.5 hours, it's Kyle's birthday, so everyone should say happy birthday to Kyle in your soul.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Kyle.
birthday. I'm saying it out loud.
Okay, so Hachi, continue.
I don't know. That's kind of it. You know, I've been just working on the house, doing projects, doing a little bit of cool stuff like upgrading the network and fixing my computer.
Cool. I mean, you did the telethon.
I did do that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so much.
But luckily, that is just something I can do in the moment. You know, you all do all the planning. That stuff's the hard part. This stuff I just aggressively throw my body at and then try to block it out as quickly as possible afterwards.
Me too.
But that might just be the strong smell of polyurethane that still exists in the ballroom, which y'all can't smell on the stream, but it makes everything a little bit harder to do here because we're all slightly high on fumes.
This
Yeah.
place is toxic AF, as the kids say.
We refinished the floors about a week before the telethon, and we did 4 coats of polyurethane, which is something we've never
Too
done
many
before.
coats.
And it still smells in here, and it definitely was fumey when the telethon happened. And so not only were we exhausted and drinking some, but we were high on fumes, unfortunately. I think that the time has come to talk to Connie.
All right, folks, we're gonna break
Can you
the.
hear our cat?
She's crying.
Willow.
Everybody,
I'm
Sarah's
just
been
kidding.
trying.
Sorry.
Mute
Do your
yourselves.
thing.
Mute yourselves.
Okay, bye.
The Nut Gallery. She made herself in the middle. All right, Hachi, let's get rid of these jabronis.
Okay.
What I need the people to know, all of you, is that my mom is on here because we've run out of things to do and we're just going to do some weird shit. She is an extraordinary person, Connie Seguin. She's a tax expert and also sort of a good church-going person. Okay, so we're going to get into that some too.
She's a badass woman, like one of those people who just like, you want her on your side.
Well,
Well,
she raised
okay,
me up.
she
Obviously,
did
she's
that
a
good
badass.
thing, but she's done lots of other good things as well.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
this one.
Connie, are you there?
I am here.
Hey,
Yay!
hey, Connie Seguin, my mother.
Oh, hold on a second. Now I've got to actually pause the YouTube thing.
Oh, look at that house.
Oh, there you are.
There we are. Well, look at my sparkle. You like my sparkle? I got sparkle.
I
It's
love that
awesome.
shit.
How's it going, guys?
It's going good. Mom, I want to ask you a question right off the bat. Get into the
Oh.
hard-hitting material. I can see that you're wearing a lovely, colorful top, as usual.
Thank you.
The other day, can you describe the Easter jacket that you were wearing for the people?
I could go get it.
Go,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
we could talk while you go get your
Yeah,
Easter
you should
jacket.
go get it.
Oh, hello, dog. That's
Oh,
insane.
the dog
He's
has
in
a
a cone.
He does. He has a cone.
For context, my mom has had large, sort of reasonable dogs her entire life, and she just decided to get some sort of tiny hypoallergenic monster, and then named it Zeus.
And then she gave him Michael's cone from when he was a kid.
She gave him my cone. Yeah, I love that cone.
He was chewing
Okay,
on
now,
his
not
paws
just
too
anybody gets to see, and of course it will not go with my shirt. So this jacket is like the bling right here. It's its own bling jacket.
Is it the bling, Mom?
It's the bling.
It
Oh
is
my
the
God.
bling.
And
Awesome.
Is it reversible? That's what I really want to know.
It is reversible.
Yeah, good.
I like
Okay?
that.
So you look at that, it shines. It catches the light beautifully. It's a very shiny, soft, beautiful fabric, and it's like my own version of a smoking jacket.
Yep. So, Mom, now that you're here, are you ready to dive right into it? I got some questions for you. We're going to get into the hot topics, the questions that people want answered.
Uh-oh. Go for it.
So you
What
are...
was Michael's favorite? I'm just kidding.
I'll kill you. I'll skin you alive. You are a tax expert. You do tax things, right? What's it like out there?
okay.
You're on the front lines of all this bullshit. Tell us about it.
Oh my gosh, it's a nightmare. So what I'll say is that I think that the government's actually trying, which is a big plus, right? We don't see that all the time.
Thanks,
and
Democrats.
it's just slow, really slow. But it's happening. I mean, Michael, you are a testament to this, that it's happening.
The people don't know about that.
Well, they do now. So, yeah, no, I'm actually really kind of excited. I think there's a lot of programs out there and everyone's trying to do it. The frustrating part is that it's taking forever because millions and millions and millions of people are applying for this stuff. So even in the best of times, it takes a while to get a loan through or some program through or some magic check to appear. But the really cool thing is that it's happening. I'm hearing stories of it actually succeeding. People are getting money. Loans are happening. Processes are being built. While there's a long delay, I think that the heart behind everything is to really see it happen, and that makes me feel really good for everybody who's stuck in a rough place right now.
You and I have talked a bunch about small business people or whatever. That's not the audience we're dealing with right now. What I'm interested in, you were a bartender yourself back in the day, right?
Yes.
What I want to know is, I got all these friends in the service industry, both Sarah and I, including some of our staff who are applying for unemployment and all that. What is your advice for them in terms of like spiritually and strategically how to navigate the scenario right now?
Oh man, should have asked me that 2 years ago. The hardest part about it is that because of the way that the tax laws are done and tipping works and that whole industry works, is that the first thing that we do is don't declare our tips because we can't and don't want to afford the taxes. And then when it comes time to ask for money, it's like, well, how much do you make? It's like a lot more than I declare. And that puts you in such an awful position. And I totally get both sides of it. I used to be tipped. I get it, right? Did it, lived it. But unfortunately, it makes it really hard to prove your wages. So best thing you can do is beg. I think begging might be it.
Begging whom?
Just tell the unemployment people where you're really at. I mean, at this point, for everyone in that situation, you have to apply for unemployment. until everything spins back around again. And tell them what you really were making. But the nice thing is with the $600 a week add-on, that'll hopefully make up a bunch of the difference.
That brings me to two questions. One, does anyone on unemployment get the $600 a week add-on? And two, do the unemployment office and the IRS talk to each other? Like, should one be afraid to say, I didn't claim, $10,000 in tips or something like that?
Well, I would take the risk, first of all. And I don't know if it'll make any difference because they probably won't be able to do anything about it. They'll only be able to go off of what you've reported and what's been reported on your paycheck. But there's remember the millions number, lots and lots of people, they're going to have an awfully hard time trying to figure out, that maybe you have some tips that you haven't declared. And then, so I'm not panicked about that part of it. I think the $600 a week, from what I understand, is supposed to go to everybody. And it's to keep the economy going, to give some people some money in their pockets so that they can do it and get through it and everything else. So I would say that you should be expecting the 600. I think it's going to be delayed though, because all these states are having to figure out how to automatically add 600 to everybody's pay, and they're all confused. They're like, our computer systems don't do that.
Mom, thank you for saying that, because a lot of the people I know, I look at Facebook, which I shouldn't because it's a cesspool of nonsense, but a lot of people I know and care about are just frantic because this is such a frustrating process and they're not getting them. But you think it is going to come through, they just need to be patient.
That's everything I'm hearing. Everything I'm hearing is that it's only delayed and that it's supposed to be backdated to when you first went on unemployment after whatever date they've set. I think it might be mid-March, it might be earlier. But I think that you should assume, you have to assume the worst, but I think that the intention is that it should be coming to everybody, yes.
Do you know if people are going to need to pay taxes on that money? It's one of our questions on YouTube.
Oh, I'm going to have to look into that. I can't recall, but what I always tell everyone, whenever you file for unemployment, there's usually a checkbox somewhere where you say, I want taxes withheld from this money. Mm-hmm. Always check the box. Dear God, please always check the box, because everyone I know who doesn't winds up with a big tax bill at the end of the year. Whether the $600 is exempt or not, I can find out. I'm going to guess the answer will be no. I'm just going to guess that. But make sure that even though everybody needs the money, if you were getting a paycheck, you would have the taxes taken out of it. So let them take the federal taxes out of it, because it'll make your tax return at the end of the year so much more pleasant than owing a big chunk of cash.
That is very helpful. Real quick, before we move on to serious items, a lot of people love your jacket. I'm getting really good feedback on the Easter jacket.
A lot of them want to know.
Here, let me show you the other side. Then you got to see it in its full glory. This is what I wear to like really cool funerals, right? I have. People who are like, no, this is a celebration. Okay, see
really
now.
Cool funerals.
How's that? You like that?
I like it.
I like that side more. Yeah, that's good. That's it. Who knew accounting was so fun? It's fun.
It can be, but usually only after hours.
All right, and there's one question that was asked on here that I respect. The rest of the ones people have been asking,
I'll ask them after.
I'm not into. But someone asked, obviously they feel that I scowl often. What was the thing I first scowled at?
Anytime I told you no.
Boom. Legit.
I'm sure his interpretation is whenever I was being a badass.
/ whenever I was injustice was being perpetrated on me by the oppressor. In this case, my mom in that jacket.
Yeah, I didn't have that jacket back then, or you probably would have been okay with me. So I have a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
Are you sitting on the floor at home?
No, these are from the office.
They're from the office. I didn't realize you had them in the office too.
The same
Because I know,
chairs
don't you have something similar at home?
No, these chairs wouldn't fit in my home, so I got little weird IKEA nursing chairs.
Remember, it's the ones that kind of bounce?
Yeah, they got
Okay.
You sat in those chairs.
All right. I feel better now because I just kind of felt bad for you not having furniture at home. I thought you brought it in from home.
Thanks,
He's
Mom.
fine.
Thanks, Mom.
He has
and lastly,
fine.
where's my letter?
What?
Oh yeah, why haven't you written your mom a letter, you asshole?
I don't know. She's got a jacket. She's fine.
I mean, Connie, I'm going to write
your
you
mother.
a letter.
Hi, Charlie.
Connie, I'm going to write you a letter before Michael does. That way I will.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, we're in a fight.
Oh, con. So what else do you have to say, Mom? Like, give us some commentary. Just steer clear of politics or religion, if you're willing.
I don't think you should. I think you should dive in.
Well, we could start with the whole concept of I'm hoping that this is a great opportunity for revival in our culture because it's a good thing. But without doing that to my son, I won't.
I'm right there with you if we can leave it at that word. Just boom. Have a nice revival.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good. I'm totally good.
And I'll even let some Jesus into
from my
that
side of the
revival.
fence,
The
my
fun
whole
Jesus.
life right now is dedicated to reforecasting budgets. So I don't know how to bore anybody more than with that set of words. So it's
WWJD, Mom. He would recast the budget right now.
I bet he didn't do a lot of accounting. I'm just saying.
Those long
He
hairs.
was more of a big picture kind of man, you know? Abby and Charlie, do you have any questions for Connie?
They're muted.
You're muted, so.
Totally muted. Everything's muted over there.
Well, I think the answer is no, they don't have questions.
I think.
Wait, us?
Oh,
Are you talking about us?
Yeah, we're talking about you.
Not only do they not have questions, they weren't even paying attention.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
No, we have so many questions.
We're watching the live stream and listening and muting the Zoom call so that it's not confusing. And all of a sudden I was like, do you think they're going to try to talk to us? And now you are, so it's a good thing I checked. What's your question, Abby?
Oh my gosh, I'm just looking back at my list.
She's got a list.
Oh no.
Oh, let's see. Yeah, did you ever ground Michael and what for?
Do you want me to tell him the truth, Michael?
I believe I can answer this one. You grounded me for not walking the dog when I said I would one time.
I never grounded him. Don't listen to him. I never
I
grounded him.
do not believe
so
he was ever grounded.
He was so sneaky that I never caught him at anything.
What?
That's really what it came down to.
Wait, that means I
okay?
didn't do anything, Mother.
He
You said that I
played
did-
me from the start. He could get away with anything because he acted like a little saint, and then he was sneaky and he never got caught. So, you know,
Oh, look at his forehead turning red.
It's turning red,
It's
Mom.
turning
It's
red.
turning red. You see this big forehead, the fetal alcohol forehead?
The one
Let's
that
talk
was
about
your
that, folks.
fault.
She used to drink wine when she was pregnant with me, and that's why I have this giant noggin.
No, Michael had a smaller forehead when he was younger. Sorry.
I'm sure that's it. I'm sure that's it.
Mr. Skinny Hair.
No, he was actually, I must admit, I think I'm one of the luckiest moms ever. So, not a lot of bad to say about him.
You did a good job, Connie.
Yeah.
Well, I've really enjoyed this time with my mom in public. Mother?
Should we dive deeper, though?
Thanks so much.
I mean, should we go
You
further?
called me, sweetheart.
Hachi called you.
I have another question.
Yes.
What did Michael want to be when he grew up?
He wanted to study.
No! I want to be a professional basketball player. Don't you remember?
Where is that? Okay, now I can tell a story. All right, now you open that door. Okay, you open the door. All right, I'm just saying.
Yes.
So when he was in second, third, fourth grade, I was the scorekeeper and he was the basketball player. He was actually the best one on the team. He was very, very good.
Still really good at basketball.
Performed super well. He was awesome. And you know when you do the basketball thing in grade school, you get cards, right? Like little cards, you know, like little collectible cards, like they actually sell in gum packs. And he signed every one of them. Every one of them.
Wait,
They're super valuable now.
I'm sorry, you signed them?
I signed them
He
like
signed
Michael
them.
Jordan would.
He
Yeah.
signed them so that they would be collector's items. It was. I've got some actually.
Can you please?
I think I know that Dan Sapinar would pay money for them.
Yeah. Do you know how much money the ballroom could make if you sold those on the
I could
internet?
auction one for charity.
Maybe we could do it as an additional fundraiser.
But then I'd be
would
proven
consider
right
that.
that I should have signed those cards.
He signed things I didn't want him to sign. He signed a lot of things.
I still do that.
He was going to be famous.
Well, sort of is, I guess. He's on television right now.
Yeah,
Right,
he's running
exactly,
his weird church
exactly, all
cult
over YouTube.
/ athletic thing.
Anyway, Mother.
I think I may have to post one of those cards.
That's fine. That's
you
fine.
should.
I'll put it out there for the people.
I feel like Michael's trying to usher you off.
I'm trying to get rid of you as fast as I can. You and that jacket.
Any
that's
other
the trouble.
questions?
I think that's it. I
You're
mean,
awesome.
I'll be texting you questions weekly as usual, but I think that's the gist of the community questions.
No problem. It's a pleasure to talk to you guys anytime.
Thanks for
you so
joining us,
much.
Mom. Go with God.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
You're all welcome for that hideous display.
That was gorgeous and beautiful and wonderful.
I hate you,
People
Charlie.
are making bids for your cards that are signed. I like that it's like $30.
Someone just put up their stimulus check.
That's awesome. What did we have planned for after this? We had all sorts of things, but
It's obviously descended into chaos.
booba-dooba-doo.
Cat video.
Yeah, that's how we're gonna close this out. Is it time to
Oh,
close it
speaking
out?
of, Dan,
Should we close it out or should we do anything else?
Do we have anyone else to bother or call?
Does anyone out there have any questions for us? And by that, we're gonna have to wait like a solid 45 seconds for the delay to be fixed.
yep, keep filling time.
If you have a question for us, now's the time to do it.
While you're taking that in and typing these things, I just like you all to know how very weird I find it that we're here with 60 people watching us on YouTube in the middle of the week. This is a strange time. We're with you. Thank you for joining us here at Mobtown TV.
The chat is currently trying to buy something. I lost track of what it was.
Oh, it's Michael's cards.
The
that
chat
he
is trying to
signed.
buy my signed basketball cards.
His
Of himself.
collector's items.
Which
Oh.
WWJD bracelet was Michael's favorite?
Are we gonna be able to pay the ballroom's bills through April? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we're
Yes.
okay through April.
Oh,
Thank you.
Why don't we give him a little financial,
Yeah, a
reasonable
little
update?
financial forecast here. Yeah.
All right, for the turkeys.
You have a graph?
Shush, Charlie.
A
Charlie,
chart?
this isn't your time.
This isn't your time.
Okay, I'm muting myself then. Bye.
Just so you know, Charlie, he interrupts. This is his nature. Where we stand right now is that you all put together a wonderful fundraiser. We have eradicated every expense that we can find.
As much as we could.
Sarah and I are not getting paid. No one is getting paid. We've checked in with the staff who were laid off. All of them are in reasonable shape, and you also helped with that. Some of the money that you donated, we are holding in reserve to give to them when the time is right. They've all opted to hope for a job on the other end of this than having it immediately, which is,
Right.
I think, sane.
There's a lot of things we're not spending money on, like things that we would normally sell to you.
Yeah. As it stands, our bills have been pared to the bone, but they are still, thousands and thousands of dollars a month. But we can fight through for quite a while, 2 to 3 months, handily keeping the ballroom feasible. And there's other things we could do that sounded creepy and like prostitution. There's
It
We-
didn't until he said that.
yeah, we got a lot of room to work with for now. We might have to figure out things for our own selves, but that's a whole other problem.
Right.
We are doing everything we can to make sure that this place stays open so that you all can dance when this is over. Even if that is 6 months from now, a long time, we're fighting the good fight.
Yeah, we'll let you know if it gets even more dire. I really appreciate those of you who have continued to donate. And, we'll take it, because if this goes on, we're gonna need it. That said, once again, put your air mask on before other people's. We want you to survive. We need you to, unfortunately, in the way this system works, we need you to have money to be able to come here when this is all over. So, yeah.
Yeah. We have more questions, Sarah. I'll read a couple for you to answer. Does that sound good?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Well, some people would like us to have more moms on. I think your mom would be a hit, and I think it's only fair at this point.
Not now or
No,
later?
Well, I mean,
Okay.
now if she's into it, but later it's fine.
I'll just get a quick mom text.
Links of patties, whatever that means. Please take care of yourselves. Yep. Oh, Kira, you're very sweet. Thank you. How
This
often
is so
will we...
much like talking to my dad on the phone, where he narrates what he's doing on the computer.
How often will
Sorry,
we do these
Dad.
streams?
How often? I don't know, probably weekly?
We're contemplating doing this on a regular basis, as insane as that is, but we're bored like you. Charles says cat. Suzanne Bell says cat. Oh, they want the cat video.
No, not that. Willow.
No, they want
crept
Willow.
Up. Willow crept up in the corner of the nut gallery cam.
Is he still there?
He's still somewhere, but his ears just kind of popped up. It was very cute.
Willow.
He can't understand you.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
you
gotta speak
whatever.
Elena's not like me.
But
I think one time.
Anyway,
touched
that's
Cat
enough.
below.
Oh, they
Were
couldn't
there
see
more
us.
questions or no?
no, I don't think people really have questions so much as comments. Except for Boris Boyko says, bring in Cindy. But should we save her for another time or should we do it tonight?
I don't know. I don't think Cindy is around. Here's take a quick poll. There are 61 people watching. Do you want to keep watching or do you want to have us save it for next time? I'm going to give it a solid 35 seconds for the delay.
I think
she
they
does
want
that, I will
to. I think
answer
they
a
want to
couple
keep
things.
going.
What is Sarah's best
Oh, that's
memory,
okay, Michael. I don't
All of
want to
them?
talk too.
Someone says Sarah's hair looks amazing. We joke about that.
Yeah. Okay.
Someone says, spread love, sell your bodies. Not in this medical climate. Jesus.
Michael, you got to get OnlyFans.
Oh, let's talk about toilet paper. Someone said the real expense of the Mobtown Ballroom is toilet paper, and yes, that's true. One of the reasons that we are able to stay open potentially for months is that all of you are not pooping in here and using up all of that toilet paper. We know what you do. We go into the bathrooms after you've all left. Y'all are terrifying. Sometimes it's like somebody took all the toilet paper, brought a bunch of raccoons in and said, go wild, raccoons.
That's true.
Yeah, that's just part of the Mobtown experience.
Sometimes you just came in and took the toilet paper, not during the coronavirus, just normally. One time you literally found a raccoon hat in the tampon holder.
I need you people to know about this. There's the little tampon trash cans, the menstrual cans next to the toilets in the non-urinal room. Whew, navigated that. And, I was cleaning those out one day, and I looked in and I jumped back because I thought, by God, there's a wild animal inside of this menstrual can, which is not what you expect. Animal didn't attack, so I went back and opened it up, and I looked, and there was a furry thing in there, so I thought, oh, a dead wild animal in the menstrual can. Then I got a pair of tongs, like you do, and I pulled out a coonskin cap, like a Davy Crockett hat, that someone had wedged into this trash can during a Friday night dance. And that's really the Mobtown Ballroom for you.
That's the way, yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of stories like that. Cindy Sullivan does not want to be on today. She would like some more warning, which is fair.
She got prep.
Yeah, she's got a prep.
And I gotta make my questions.
And people are asking if you could say menstrual can one more time.
Oh, people, all you want. Menstrual can. Menstrual can. Menstrual can.
Should we bring this shit home?
I think we should thank the people and then play a
Yeah,
cat video.
okay. So a number of people we need to thank. First, Hachi Matt Reed, who is behind the camera, and you can see him, I think. Hachi is amazing and is basically the only reason this can happen. Abby and Charlie, who you also see at the bottom of your screen. Oh wait, it's not live, never mind. They have been helping with everything and doing everything, and we made them stay home for safety reasons, but they're just as important here. Michael. Joy, Dr. Nichols, Sean, all of them. Scroll up to see their payment information. Thank you so much, and most of all of you, because you're fucking awesome.
The people.
Yeah. Do you have anyone else to thank? Sorry, I just hogged it again.
No, the thanking is from both of us.
Okay, it's from both of us.
Let's just say goodnight to Mobtown and then leave them with the photo.
Yeah, so we have one last thing to leave you with, and it's something that we weren't able to fit into the telethon due to when we got it and also
quality control.
No, I would say because I wanted to fall asleep. And it didn't seem right to air it at like 4 a.m. So our lovely dancer, Dan Sapinar, was hanging around Mabel when Mabel made our opening segment, which was the puppet thing where they were singing and it was beautiful and Michael cried. He cried.
Someone was cutting onions.
Dan was around during that and decided to make his own video, and it's a cat rap from the perspective of the cat about all the people being home. So we're going to say goodnight to you, and we're going to leave you with this catastrophe, I think is what he called it.
Boom.
And I hope you all enjoy it. You got anything to add?
No?
No.
Good night. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, all of you. Good night. Enjoy this from Daniel Sapinar.
Dame la ciencia.
The name's Pepe Le Beauty. I am stuck up and snooty. Pay attention, scratch my booty. Everyone knows I'm a beauty. All you bring is doom. I see you in my bedroom. Hit me with your broom. Boom, when I groom my womb.
I used to rule the house, but now we play cat and mouse. The cat's out of the bag, because you just nag, nag, nag. Just leave me alone and get out my home. This is my last cat call before I fuck it all.
Pitter patter, let's get at her. What's the matter? Wait, why no chatter? The cat's at the bag. I won't say it, I'll just brag. I'll take you out, you rat. There's more than one way to skin a cat.
I used to rule the house, but now we play cat and mouse. The cat's out of the bag, because you just nag, nag, nag. Just leave me alone and get out my home. This is my last cat call before I fuck it all.
Fuck it, I'll leave and do not call. Give me distance, I need assistance. Get out this house, you ugly gray mouse.
I used to rule the house, but now we play cat and mouse. The cat is out the bag. Why? Because you just nag. Just please leave me alone and get out of my home. This is my last cat call before I fuck it all.
This is Pepe Le Beauty signing off.
Aww.